AITA for taking my bill to small claims court over art supplies? A bit of context. I, 29M, like to draw and try other mediums as well. As such, I've accumulated a lot of art supplies over the past few years. My wife, Sally 27F, also dabbles a bit, and we have converted one of the rooms in our home to an art studio of sorts. There's easily a few $1,000s worth of art supplies in that room and wettin' to keep it locked for that reason. Most important to me are my pencils and markers, which were not cheap. Chart pack for those who care. Onto the story. Sally and I had her family over for her aunt's birthday a few weeks back, and my BIL and SIL brought their kids with them, 7F and 6M. Wahad forgotten to lock the door to the room that day. About an hour into the party, I noticed that both kids were nowhere to be seen, so I asked my Sil if she knew where they were. She said that they were drawing in the other room. I asked if my wife was with them, and she said she just told them which room it was in. I immediately rushed over to the art room and found it was a total mess. Most devastatingly was the fact that all my markers were ruined because the kids were using way too much force casing the tips to fray. I yelled at them to get out, and they started crying. My BIL ran over and started yelling at me, saying they're just kids and it's just markers. I told him that the markers alone were $17 a piece, and he said I was stupid for paying that much. Sally tried to defuse the situation, but my BIL started yelling at her too, saying we can't have this much art supplies and not expect kids wanting to use it. I told him he's paying to replace the markers and other supplies they ruined, and he told me to go UCK myself and left. Everyone left shortly after that. I totaled up the damages, and I needed to replace about $375 and found that the kids drew on a piece I had spent the past week working on, as well as ruining a finished piece Sally did. I sent him a bill and he blocked me. So I talked with my friend, who was lawyer, and had him draft a claim for small claims court and a letter to send my bill. I paid him for this OFC. My wife is in agreement about this, but her family has been mobbing us, telling us we're being ridiculous over some markers. Only my FIL, who also has taken up painting recently, and my other SIL say that BIL has to pay. AITA? WIBTA for spraying some kid with my garden hose daily after he walks all over our lawn. I, 37M, live with my wife, 37F, and son and daughter, 9 and 11 respectively. Recently, there has been this kid who comes by our house after playing soccer and either rides his bike or walks over the lawn with his cleats on his way home. It started out as me giving him stern looks whenever I saw him, then it slowly progressed to me asking him to just go around. The last time I asked him to stop, he made a point to stomp extra hard and twist his feet into the grass to ISS me off. Since then I've just been hosing him. The first time I sprayed him with the hose he ran off, but then for some reason he just started standing there while I hose him like he enjoys it. It's now progressed to me sitting on my lawn chair pointing my hose at him, and him just staring at me while he does so. Sometimes we even make small talk. IMNGL, it started off as a really bitter relationship, but I've actually gotten to know the kid quite well. We talk for maybe 15 to 20 minutes every day, and he doesn't seem to mind being hosed down after sweating hard playing soccer. He comes by daily and we just shoot the hit while I hose him, and he stands there for a bit. Wife told me I need to stop. Even after I explained it to her, she said I am making us look like childish idiots. I guess I could stop, but honestly it's really funny waiting for him to come by, and I see no harm in it. WIBTA? AITA for showing texts to my roommate that his girlfriend sent me? I rent a room in a house with my boyfriend and his best friend, Eric. We are all in our 30s and have lived in this home since college. Eric has a girlfriend, around 6 months, who stays over named Amanda. Amanda doesn't live with us. Last night we were all Star Wars fans, so we decided to binge watch some episodes and get pizza. Amanda wanted to use her Disney Plus account, but mine is already logged into the TV in the living room. We get our pizza, snacks, wine and beer. I left my phone in my bedroom because I like to unplug after work. After movie night, I go see my phone before bed, and there are pages of text about how Amanda wants me to stop doing things for her, man, including start using her Disney Plus account on our TV. I'm not allowed to cook or grab him things. The list goes on to where she accuses me of flirting with her man. The thing is a ridiculous wall of text, and I'm showing this to my boyfriend before we go to sleep. He said Eric needed to see this, so I screenshot page after page Amanda sent while we watched the new trilogy. I hear them argue, and Amanda slams the door to leave around 3 a.m. I told my coworker today, and few thought I was being Petty because Amanda has insecurities she needs to work through, and I bullied her about them by sharing her texts with her boyfriend. AITA for not paying any child support? My ex-girlfriend, Claire, 35F, got pregnant while we were dating. Although she told me she just wanted to be friends, I was ready to be a father. However, she met someone else, Becca, who didn't want me around, so they asked me to cancel my paternal rights. At the time, I was torn because I wanted to better for my child, but I also felt that if they didn't want me around, it was best to waive my rights. After fighting for a while, I eventually gave up because it was clear that they didn't want me there. Fast forward 13 years later, Claire and Becca are going through some stuff, and they want me to pay child support. However, the court had already ruled that since I waived my paternal rights, I am not legally obliged to pay child support. Despite this, Claire is calling me a bastard and a deadbeat, and she's even calling my family and getting them involved. While I understand her frustration, I don't think it's appropriate for her to be involving my family in this matter. AITA for sending my brother a list of every item of ours that my nephew ruined? For the context, I, 25F, have a niece, Bella 7F, and a nephew, Michael 10M. They're my brother Alexa's kids. I love them both, but I have a much closer relationship with Bella. Michael is a good kid, but he is a ticking time bomb. He is absolutely uncontrollable. I'm his aunt and I love him, but I really can't have him around for long. The last time he was in our house, he poured my nail polish collection onto my wife's favorite silk Persian carpet. And that isn't even 1% of the damage he has done. My wife, 27F, and I recently bought a villa out off town. It has a game room, pool, and many things Bella adores. So we offered to give her a tour of the place and let her check out the Rose Garden Theater, if Alex and his wife agreed. Alex said either both Michael and Bella were to be included or none of them were going. My wife and Ibeth insisted to only take Bella, but he was no-thaving it, so we said we would just go by ourselves. Alex got really mad at us and said it was disgusting that we favored Bella because she was a girl and that we were both hypocritical and unfair to Michael, and never included him in our plans. I told my brother that Michael was an uncontrollable kid. He had the audacity to ask what Michael had done. I told him I'd let him know. I've told him the items over the years as it happened, but he always said it was an accident and Fat Michael's a boy and boys play rough. I made audible including every item my nephew damages in our house and the estimated cost. It included a few of my wife's antique vases, her glass statue of the Eiffel Tower, carpet, several of my wife's crystal decorative items and 2 phones. He flushed them down the toilet. Even the mirror of my car. I sent the list to Alex. He is now extremely angry with me, and thinks I am being an arrogant person, and taking after my wife's trait of being an uptight rich kid. I am not talking to him at the moment. Was what I did territory? AITA for not paying my boyfriend back after he didn't get me the right birthday cake? I definitely have a bit of a complex about this kind of stuff because of how I grew up, always with my siblings getting what they asked for while I almost never did, and generally feeling like I never get my turn at things, so it will be helpful to know if I'm justified or overreacting. My BF and I have been dating for 10 months and it was my birthday yesterday. I put a lot of effort into birthdays, including his, and was pretty excited about it for the last month or so. There is a local bakery that makes a really good-looking pineapple upside-down cake. I have been really wanting to try it and have been saving it for my birthday. About a month in advance, I told him my birthday was coming up and gave him a few activity ideas, and told him that I didn't need a gift but I really wanted a pineapple upside-down cake from XYZ Bakery. He said, sure. Now, I know this was probably annoying, but I did mention this specific cake several times, even before last month. Like we would drive by the bakery and I'd say something like, oh hey, that's the place with the pineapple cake, I want to do that for my birthday. I wasn't deliberately hammering the point home or anything, or aware that it was gonna end in a cake-centered conflict, but there were a couple occasions where it came up. And then a week before my birthday I did text him a reminder about the cake so that he would have the bakery info on hand. Yesterday rolls around and my boyfriend comes over to my apartment and gives me a gift, which is a Kindle. Not a bad gift and I know they are expensive, but not something particularly relevant to me either. Then he says let's have cake, and presents. What you all know by now is not the pineapple upside-down cake, but just a regular grocery store cake with the frosting balloons. Vanilla cake with vanilla buttercream. You guys, I was legitimately sad. If I knew he was gonna drop the ball on this, I would have just gotten myself a pineapple cake months ago instead of waiting. I was on the verge of tears because of not getting the thing I actually wanted, which was that stupid cake, so I told him I was very disappointed and that he should just go home. He had 2 tickets to a comedy show for that night and one ended up going to waste. Now he's annoyed because it is, of course, just a cake, and wants me to reimburse the cost of the wasted ticket. It was only about $30, but I'm bristling at the principle of it and said I didn't owe him the money. He sent me a Venmo request for $30, AITA if I don't pay.